Okay, I would like to introduce you to Gail Dixon. Gail Dixon teaches that leadership isn't just about strategy or decision making, it's about the language you use to convey those things. Great leaders understand the language doesn't just describe reality, it creates it. Intentional leaders focus on responsibility, possibilities, and solutions. Leadership language isn't just about giving direction. It's about engaging, inspiring, and empowering others. Sometimes the most powerful leadership tools are simple questions. What's possible here? What can we learn from this? What do you think? How can I support you? At its core, leadership begins in the heart and travels through language. So Gail asks the real question for every leader is this: are my words creating the future I want to lead people into? I am happy to introduce Gail Dixon. Gail, come on down.
Thank you so much, LaDonna. And I'm going to build on that introduction to talk about what happens when leaders encounter resistance, because it happens to all of us. And so thinking about down and dirty strategies, the title of today, I wanted to give you some things that put a perspective on resistance and some strategies to overcome it. So I'm going to invite you for just a second to think about a situation in which you met resistance. That can be in an interpersonal relationship when you were trying to reach a decision or a compromise, or in a business or corporate situation when you were leading a team, or out in the community or the world when you were trying to advocate for something and make it happen. So it can be a tiny little sphere that you were making change in, or a big sphere. Think about a time that you encountered resistance. Everybody got one? Now, did everybody that was resisting you resist you for the same reason? No. Everybody has their own reason for resisting. And when you know the reason for the resistance, you can be much more effective in overcoming it. So I'm going to talk to you about 3 types of resistance. But first, I want to put the frame on this and help us think. Resistance does not equal problem. It equals information. And so when we have the right information, we can choose the right strategy. So leadership expert Rick Maurer talks about 3 basic kinds or 3 underlying reasons for resistance. One is they don't get it. They don't understand the vision. They don't understand the point. They don't get it. The second is they don't like it. They get it. They hear where you're going. They're not having it. And the third is that they don't like you. They don't trust you. They don't have the kind of relationship that makes this work. So let's examine each of those kinds of resistance and take them apart a little bit, and then think what you can do to overcome that type of resistance. And just a side note, in the corporate world, we often automatically assume this first type of resistance, that they don't get it. In the corporate world, the answer to everything is give them more training, give them more information, give them more of this. Well, that's great for the people who don't understand it and don't get it. It's not so great for the people who don't like it or don't like you, because you're just piling on. So just make sure that you don't default to they don't get it before you look a little deeper. Okay, so if they don't get it, what are the clues that tell you that that's the kind of resistance? Confusion, repeated questions, inconsistent action. And so they're kind of missing the why or the what or the how. The solution when they don't get it is to simplify. Give them one outcome and one reason. And then, just as John told us, simplify is planting the seed And then you repeat. You let the system grow. And you also show them what good or what the right result looks like. So you show them that plant in full bloom and you tell them that. So when they understand the what, why, and how, then they're more able to come along with you. And we talked about before, and I apologize. I think it's Tristan who said, we're going to connect the dots, right? That's what you're doing when you're dealing with they don't get it, is helping people connect the dots between what you're proposing and what they need and want. And so if you can think not of its resistance, it's something I have to fight, but it's a communication gap. That's how you can deal with resistance. Now, the second type, they don't like it. That's another story. They get it. They see your point, but somehow it doesn't meet their needs. That's an emotional gap rather than an information gap. It looks like pushback. It looks like that won't work, or it looks like hesitation. And what's really going on here with they don't like it is there's some fear under there. It's fear of loss. What they have has something in it for them, and they're not sure that what you're proposing has anything in it for them. Strategies here are to acknowledge first, I get that this feels scary. This isn't an all or nothing proposition. You don't have to, we're not doing a shift and a sea change. We're just doing a pivot. Name the trade-offs, and most especially, give the resistor a voice. This is a time to sit back and listen, because it's likely that there's something in what you're proposing that's a payoff for them. And if you hear what the payoff is that they want, you can build that into the solution. But get them. People want to feel seen, heard, and valued. Tell them you get them. Because if you don't get them, sure shooting, they won't get you. So it's not so much that people resist change. It's that they resist loss. So if what you're doing is providing the reassurance that what you're proposing is not going to result in a total loss of what they value, then they're more likely to come along. Boy, and now, here's the toughie. They don't like you. And it may not be so much that they don't like you, but that they don't trust you or trust your motives. And the clue about this is it looks like disengagement, quiet resistance, the silent resignation at work. Somebody's showing up at their desk. They're showing up at the meeting, but they don't contribute, they don't engage. Or lack of buy-in. I'll just sit back and wait and see if this thing fails or it doesn't. Okay. But it's really a trust issue. People risk when they feel like there's a safety net for them. And very often you, as the boss, the leader, the partner, the primary, they see you as the safety net. And when it looks like you're proposing a change or doing something different, the safety net feels shaky. It feels like there's a hole in the safety net. You may need to go back and repair relationships. develop consistency. If you're leading a team, this is a time for one-on-one conversations that, often we all like to be part of the group. And so if a whole group is resisting, we can pile on with the resistance. If a whole group is flowing, we can go with the flow. And if you have a trust issue, you're not going to fix that trust in a group setting. You're going to fix it one by one, because as much as you as the leader relate to the group, you also have an individual relationship with each person in the group. And people develop trust one by one. The next one, really hard. Own your part. They don't distrust you just because of something in them, something that they're carrying. They distrust you either because of something you've done, said, or put forth, or something you haven't. So go back and give them a reason to trust. And that's about, how am I showing up in this for you? What is it? You may actually have to ask and confront it directly. I'm sensing that you don't feel safe or trusted, or you don't feel like there's anything in this for you. How can I show up for you in a way that brings you along? Sometimes people will say, I need to wait. I'm not ready. Be willing to change the timetable in favor of trust, because I guarantee you, you can be in any situation. You can choose to be a steamroller. But if you're a steamroller, what you end up with afterward is flat people lying on the ground rather than fully dimensional people who will be able to do something. So these three things I've told you, I'm going to give you the memory framework that will help you to hang on to these. In handling resistance, we do three things. First, you see it. You discern what type of resistance you're looking at. Then you sort it. Figure out what's underneath. And then you shift it. You respond accordingly. If you have not seen it, you're not able to sort it. But if you've sorted it, then what? Then you have to respond accordingly. As the leader, the way you frame the change has everything to do with how successful it will be. And so when you meet resistance, the way you respond to resistance has everything to do with whether you can roll through that resistance to the goal, or whether the resistance is going to continue to be an obstacle and a thorn in your side. So think back to the situation I asked you to think about when we started. Can you discern what kind of resistance you were dealing with? Give me a hand if it was, they don't get it. Okay. Donna, they don't get it. Tricia, what about they don't like it? Anybody dealing with they don't like it? Trina, Angela, Luana. Okay. And anybody willing to own up to they don't like you? Yeah, it happened to me too. So with this information, can you now see how you might have responded differently in that situation by understanding what the resistance was and where it was coming from? When you have that clarity of they don't get it, you can create alignment. When you have that they don't like it, you develop some empathy, you create some openness. And when they don't like you, it's all about the trust factor. So I'm going to encourage you that as you use the language of leadership that LaDonna talked about in the introduction, you pair that language with the kind of listening that allows you to listen to the resistance, and it'll show you exactly how to lead.